This is Courage Barbell, and I'm your host, Chad Ikes. Today, I'm looking a little haggard, feeling a little haggard. So I thought I would shoot a video about a subject that has kind of irritated me ever since I first found powerlifting. And that is, I don't even know how to actually say it, but it's got to do with how powerlifters try to improve, or their attitudes towards trying to improve, and how they make excuses and reasons. And I really don't think the vast majority of lifters want to know the truth about how to improve and how to be better and how to be the best lifter they can. I've had many discussions with this with many top lifters throughout my career. And let's just start with this. My first set, when I first got into powerlifting, I had lifted for many, many years. I quickly learned after my first meet, I don't know enough to get to the level I want to be at. And I need to seek out others that are better than me. I need to seek out help and knowledge to achieve what I knew that I could achieve. I did this by researching lifters, researching who was doing seminars, who were the guys putting up the top numbers. And as everyone knows, I found Dave Tate, Elite FTS. Went to my first seminar. It was over in California, around UC Davis. Big seminar, 40 or 50 people. The first day was all coaching, going over the lifts. He said the second day, he's like, I'm going to be here doing dynamic bench tomorrow. Everyone's welcome to come. A handful of guys actually showed up for that. Which right there, I thought, that's curious. Like you took this trip, you spent this money. Now you have a chance to actually train with the guy, to actually see how he trains, to actually see how he's going to do his dynamic work. And they couldn't bother to show up for that. Now, a lot of these guys, I had only done a couple meets, so I had kind of seen a couple of them before. And over the next year or two, I kept running into a lot of the guys that I saw at that seminar. And the funny thing is I would go to the competitions and I'd be like, aren't you working on the stuff we learned at the seminar? That stuff didn't work for me. It didn't work. I didn't like it. Well, how long did you do it? Like, how long did you try it? A few weeks, a month. Yeah, I just don't like it. It just don't work for me. Oh, so okay, so you really didn't even give it a fucking shot. You didn't even give it a chance. It just wasn't what you wanted to do, so you're going to ignore it. And ironically, I'm the only guy from that group I know of that actually went to an elite level, went to a world-class level. And for all the lifters out there that like to make excuses, which is another problem with lifters. Oh, he's on drugs. Oh, he has a good coach. Oh, he has good genetics. Oh, he trains at this gym. I have crap genetics. I had to work my ass off in every sport I ever did. Nothing came natural to me. I have chronic compartment syndrome. I was born severely pigeon-toed and had to wear all that crap when I was a kid to try to straighten my feet out. I used to have flat feet. I actually fixed that by rooting. When I first started lifting, I wasn't impressive at all. I busted my ass off to be mediocre in high school. I trained at just a little bitty gym with a couple of powerlifters in Reno, and even when I first started, I was training on my own at home. So I never had a big gym, never had a great coach. I broke all kinds of world records and put up all kinds of crazy numbers before steroids even entered the picture in my training. And even when it did, I never took a lot. I just took a little bit. Yeah, what else could people say? I don't have the genetics. I didn't have the coaching all continuously. I did seek out coaches for seminars, and I became friends with people and would get advice here and there, but I trained myself. I have sleep issues. There's no reason I should have became the lifter that I did. There's a lot of reasons why I shouldn't have become the lifter that I did. So, out of that group, I'm the only one that became top level. Why is that? Maybe it has something to do with I'm the only one that actually listened to the things Dave taught. I then later went to other seminars with Dave and started coaching with Dave and coaching at Elite FTS seminars. And Dave could see that I was taking what he said and I was utilizing it, doing it, and then even expanding on it. I didn't make excuses. I wanted to be one of the best. So what did I do? I stopped listening to Joe Schmo in the gym. Okay, so a guy benches 25, 30, maybe even 40 pounds more than me. That's still not where I want to be. So why even bother taking advice from that person? I looked to the people. I wanted to be one of the best, so I looked to the very best. What are they doing? And I didn't go, well, what are the excuses? Why could they be better than me? No, I went, what are they doing? How did they reach that level? What did they do? What can I learn from them to help me get where they are or where they were? I actually thought about what they said. I actually took their advice. I tried it. I gave it time. Now, some things didn't work for me and some things I didn't necessarily agree with. But when I went up to talk to somebody, when I went to a seminar, I didn't have a preconceived conception in my mind of what I wanted to hear. And trust me, I've coached enough seminars and I've seen enough lifters that come to that seminar wanting you to tell them what they want to hear. Never once did I did that. I went to that seminar going, listen, I'm paying for this seminar. I know who this person is. I trust what this person is saying. I don't know if everything they're saying is going to exactly work for me, but I trust in this person. I'm going to go there with an open mind, and I'm going to suck up everything that they have to say. And then I'm going to go back and I'm going to program this in and I'm going to give it a shot and I'm going to try it. And every chance I had to sit down and talk with a top lifter, every chance I had to go to lunch with a top lifter, I'm listening to everything they say, like every little bitty thing down to the little philosophies about lifting, the philosophies about training. And I'm taking all that information in. Never once did I go, oh, well, so-and-so is just a genetic freak. And if I did, and maybe they are, if they're like one of the best ever, they probably do have some genetics. But I didn't give a shit. They have genetics, so they're on drugs. I don't care. They still didn't get to the top because of those things alone. They got to the top because they're smart and they know what the hell they're doing. And they know how to read their body. And I also didn't, this is another thing that drives me nuts about a lot of lifters, is that they don't really want to work for it. They want to do what they want to do. Like most lifters like going into the gym, like beating the crap out of themselves. I think we're all a little tweaked to do what we do anyway. So I think beating the crap out of ourselves is actually something that we really enjoy. So going to the gym and beating the crap out of yourself and doing something that you love is not hardcore. It's not easy. It doesn't make you a badass. It means you do what you like to do. Big deal. Now having a goal and going, I'm going to train for that goal and I'm going to do whatever it takes to achieve that goal. That's hardcore. That's badass. If it means I'm going to get more sleep when I hate going to bed early, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to eat my vegetables and I hate vegetables. I'm going to make sure I force feed this much protein down. I'm going to stretch even though stretching sucks. Like, I'm going to work on my technique even when it's lightweight and I hate doing it. I'm going to do recovery work that's just boring as hell. That's hardcore. That's a badass. If you have a goal and you want to train to that goal, you do not have a preconceived idea of what it is. You do not go into it looking to hear what you want to hear. You go into it with a scientific open mind going, listen, I need to figure out the best way to achieve this goal. And that's why I train. I don't work out. Because I'm all about achieving the goal. And there's a lot of lifters, and I still see this today, lifters do not want to take accountability for themselves. They want to do a written program with lots of numbers, lots of percentages, and lots of bullshit that tells them exactly what they need to do on exactly what days. And that way, when they fail, they can blame the program. When they fail, they can blame a coach. They always want to be able to blame everyone else. They never want to take that responsibility for themselves. The fact of the matter is, I don't care what program you use. I don't care who you follow. When you boil it down, every one of us is an individual. Every one of us has little things that we need to do specifically for ourselves. And the only way to find that is to use your brain and figure it out. I have been to the top of the hill. I've been in the warm-up room with 20 of the strongest motherfuckers on this planet, competing with those guys and against those guys. And you know what? Every single damn one of them does something different. They found what they need. They figured out how to tweak all these little training things. Yes, there's some similarities, but everybody trains different. That's because every top lifter has figured out what they need. They're not afraid to put in the real work. They're not afraid to do the actual hard, difficult stuff. They're willing to look at themselves. They're willing to be strong enough and tough enough to auto-regulate themselves. Strong enough to actually use their brain instead of their ego. I'm not one for telling personal stories about other people unless I know they're okay with it. But trust me, I have tons of stories talking to top athletes who say shit that's like, they say it readily. If you talk to top athletes, you hear the same shit all the time. But people don't want to hear that. They want to hear the BS from some mediocre or shit lifter or somebody that's good in a local gym, and they want to take that person's word for it. Why the hell would you listen to a mediocre lifter if you want to be an amazing lifter? If you want to be a top-level world-class lifter, then listen to top-level world-class athletes. And don't just hear them. Literally listen to them. Understand them. Let what they're saying soak into your brain. Listen, guys. I love this sport. I love lifting. I love strength. I've given so much of my time for free to so many lifters. Because I want to help lifters. I want people to be successful. I want people to feel how powerlifting made me feel. I want them to feel what it's like to get those PRs and to reach those goals and to push your body where you at one point didn't think you could push it. So ever since I started powerlifting, ever since I started a training log, ever since I started my column writing and videos, I have always told the truth. But a lot of lifters don't want to hear it because they want to hear the bullshit and BS and the shit that sells. Stop listening to the shit that sells. Start listening to the real lifters, the real guys on top, the guys that have achieved. There's plenty of them out there. There's plenty of guys like me that are actually putting out the truth if people would just stop and listen to it. And stop making excuses for why someone is so great. Maybe they're great because they're smart, because they listen to their body, because they're intelligent. Start giving people credit for what they have achieved. Listen to them, and if they're willing to give you information, man, suck it up. All right, guys, I'm going to end it right here. This up here, this gray matter controls everything else in your body. You can have the strongest muscles in the world, but if you don't have it up here and you don't have it in here, it's a waste. Use your head, be aware, give a fuck. All right, guys, I'm out. Chad Ikes, Courage Barbell. Please like it, subscribe to it, follow it. More truth coming. I'm out of here.